The moment you start making real money, your world quietly shifts. But most people don't notice it until it's already too late. Success feels like freedom, like proof that all those years of struggle were worth it. You want to share it. You want people to see what you've built. You want validation, applause, and recognition. But here's the secret few ever understand. The second you reveal your success, you expose yourself. You stop being one of them and become someone they quietly envy. The spotlight that once felt warm suddenly becomes a weapon, because attention doesn't just attract admiration, it attracts jealousy, expectation, and manipulation. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. In The Prince, he warned rulers to appear humble, even when they held absolute power. Why? Because power on display invites rebellion. Wealth works the same way. The moment you show it, people start calculating how to take it from you. Your circle changes, your conversations shift. Some will smile to your face and secretly wish for your failure. Others will call it luck. A few will even try to copy or sabotage you. That's why the truly powerful stay silent. They don't announce victories, they multiply them in private. They understand that in a world built on envy, mystery is protection. Because once people can see your cards, they'll start plotting your loss. This video reveals the hidden rules of wealth, inspired by Machiavellian strategy. Rules that teach you how to move in silence, how to protect your peace, and how to control the game without anyone realizing you're even playing. Stay till the end, because the final rule changes everything. When you rise, the world reacts. At first, it celebrates you. People clap, cheer, and call you inspiring. But slowly something changes. Their tone, their eyes, their energy. Because your success shines a light on their stagnation. Your progress becomes a reminder of what they haven't done. And instead of admiration, you start to feel distance. They'll never say it outright, but you'll sense it. In the forced smiles, in the quiet judgment, in the small comments like, "Don't forget where you came from." That's envy disguised as advice. The truth is simple. People are comfortable supporting you only when you're struggling. When you're broke, they feel superior. Your hunger makes them feel safe. But once you break through, that comfort disappears. And here's the dangerous part. They'll begin to test you. They'll ask for help. They'll expect favors. They'll remind you of what you owe. And when you don't give in, they'll turn bitter. That's when you realize success isolates. Not because you've changed, but because you've outgrown their expectations. Machiavelli wrote that power must always appear harmless. A ruler who flaunts dominance invites enemies. The same applies to wealth. When you display it too openly, you awaken resentment. Look around. When someone gets a new car, people rarely say, "He earned it." Instead, they whisper, "He's showing off." They must have had help. Nobody admits it's hard work, because that would mean confronting their own inaction. So they rewrite your story to make themselves feel better. That's human nature, and it's predictable. The first rule of wealth, therefore, is silence protects you. Not because you're hiding, but because you're staying free. Every piece of information you share becomes a tool that can be used against you. The quiet millionaire in plain clothes understands this instinctively. He doesn't need validation, he needs control. The loud ones, flashing cars and chains, need attention. The silent ones, they need strategy. Because when people underestimate you, they can't prepare for you. And that's the ultimate advantage. Machiavelli would say, appear weak when you are strong, not out of deception, but out of wisdom. The one who looks harmless moves freely. No one resists what they don't perceive as a threat. So stop announcing your progress. Stop explaining your success. Start building quietly. Because every time someone new discovers how far you've come, you lose leverage. Friends begin asking for favors. Relatives start hinting about old promises. Even strangers project their expectations on you. You stop being a person and become a resource. The wealthy know this. They build invisible walls of privacy, not out of arrogance, but for peace. Because in silence lies security. Remember this, the most powerful people are often the least visible. Not because they're afraid, but because they understand that real power doesn't announce itself. It just acts. Silence is not emptiness, it's armor. It's control disguised as calm. And in the world of wealth, it's your most effective shield. When you stay quiet, people guess, they speculate, they fill the blanks with their own stories. And that's your advantage, because people can attack what they don't understand. The rich don't show their moves. They don't post their progress. They let results speak when the time is right. Every public brag gives away private leverage. Leverage is power without effort. It's when small moves create massive impact. It's the reason the quiet investor outlasts the loud entrepreneur, because the quiet one knows control comes from invisibility. In a world obsessed with exposure, silence becomes rebellion. Everyone's screaming for attention, but attention is expensive. It invites judgment, comparison, and risk. The truly powerful choose discretion over display. Think about it. When billionaires wear simple clothes, it's not humility, it's strategy. They know the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest, and the one observing silently is often the most dangerous. Silence gives you time. It gives you options. It allows you to read others without revealing yourself. When you don't react, you force people to show their intentions first. Machiavelli called this the art of hidden influence. He believed a ruler's greatest strength was the ability to appear ordinary while pulling strings behind the curtain. Modern wealth works the same way. The quiet entrepreneur who owns multiple companies behind different names is untouchable. Nobody sees him coming. That's the difference between influence and exposure. Influence moves things. Exposure invites resistance. So while most chase fame, the wise chase control. Information is currency. The fewer people who know your reality, the richer you truly are. Because privacy isn't secrecy, it's strategy. Every sentence you speak is an investment. Every word can either strengthen or weaken your position. So before you post, before you announce, before you share, ask yourself, does this give me leverage or take it away? The game of wealth is not about noise, it's about positioning. The quiet builder invests while others perform. He compounds in silence, grows in darkness, and emerges only when his foundation can't be shaken. That's how you win long term, not by being seen, but by being unstoppable before anyone realizes it. Let me give you a simple truth. The rich don't compete. They create systems that make competition irrelevant. They move strategically, not emotionally. They play chess while everyone else plays checkers. And chess is a game of patience. You don't rush your moves. You wait for the right opening. The player who talks too much always loses, because in their noise, they reveal their plan. Machiavelli warned, hide your intentions, because once others know your direction, they can block your path. Silence keeps your enemies blind. It keeps your friends uncertain. It keeps you unpredictable. Unpredictability is power. It confuses, disarms, and protects. People can't plan against what they can't define. That's why silence isn't weakness, it's warfare. In business, silence buys time. In wealth, it buys security. And in life, it buys peace. When no one knows what you own, what you earn, or what you plan, you live free. There's a quiet satisfaction in being underestimated, because while others gossip, you grow. While they seek approval, you build advantage. And when they finally notice, it's already too late. So learn this rule. Control information. Guard your progress. Share only when silence no longer serves you. Because in this game, knowledge is leverage, and exposure is loss. Move quietly, build patiently, strike strategically. That's how power survives. That's how wealth lasts. And that's how you stay untouchable in a world desperate to see you fall. Wealth doesn't just test your finances, it tests your emotions. Because once you rise, the attacks stop being physical, they become psychological. People will test you. They'll question your character. They'll provoke you with guilt, envy, and manipulation. And the moment you react, you lose leverage. Control begins inside. If you can't command your emotions, you can't command your environment. That's the Machiavellian truth most never learn. The calm one always wins. Because emotion is exposure. When you explode, you reveal your weaknesses. But when you stay composed, others reveal theirs. They'll say, you've changed. They'll say, you're selfish. What they really mean is, you no longer serve my comfort. Don't let those words shake you. Smile, stay silent. Let their emotions exhaust themselves. Because silence is not surrender, it's dominance disguised as stillness. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must appear gentle, merciful, and fair, but only appear. Inside, he must be steel. Because mercy without control becomes vulnerability. You must master emotional camouflage. That means looking calm when you're calculating. It means appearing neutral while you plan your next move. It's not deception, it's defense. When you stay emotionally neutral, you force others into chaos. They can't predict your reactions. They can't read your intentions. And that uncertainty gives you power. People expect success to make you loud, but true wealth makes you quieter. You don't need to defend yourself anymore. You simply act, while others argue. The powerful don't waste energy explaining. They don't justify. They don't debate. Because every explanation gives away control. Silence keeps people guessing, and guessing creates respect. When others can't measure you, they imagine you're greater than you are. And that illusion, that perception becomes leverage. That's the essence of psychological control. You control, not by force, but by perception. Because perception shapes behavior more than truth ever does. Machiavelli called it ruling through appearances. If people believe you're powerful, they'll act accordingly, even if you never prove it. That's how kings ruled without lifting a sword. That's how the modern wealthy control without saying a word. In a noisy world, mystery is magnetic. People chase what they can't define. They respect what they can't access, and they fear what they can't predict. That's why your silence is your greatest statement. It builds curiosity. Curiosity builds influence. And influence, not attention, is the real currency of power. Think of a chess master. He never announces his strategy. He waits, watches, and strikes only when the board guarantees victory. That's not luck. That's emotional discipline turned into tactical advantage. The same applies to wealth. Don't rush to prove. Don't defend your worth. Let your actions accumulate evidence quietly over time. People will doubt you in silence. Then they'll study you. Then they'll try to copy you. And by the time they realize how far ahead you are, you'll already be on another level. That's control. The ability to move unseen while others still argue about your last move. But this control comes at a cost. Detachment. You must detach from the need to be understood. Detach from the urge to be liked. Detach from the desire to prove anything. Because the moment you seek approval, you hand over power. The one who needs nothing cannot be manipulated. And that's what emotional neutrality gives you. Freedom from reaction. Machiavelli would call it the invisible crown. The ruler who doesn't crave recognition is impossible to dethrone. His strength isn't in titles or wealth. It's in his composure. Remember this. People can only control what they can predict. When they can't read you, they can't stop you. So practice the art of quiet confidence. Let your stillness speak louder than words. Let your calm intimidate more than anger ever could. And never forget, the most dangerous power is the kind that feels peaceful, because peace confuses people. They mistake it for weakness, and by the time they realize it was control, it's already too late. The final stage of wealth isn't luxury, it's invisibility. Because the moment you no longer need to be seen, you've already won. Most people chase recognition. They want their name in lights. They want credit, validation, applause. But every ounce of recognition is a link in a chain that keeps them ordinary. The powerful know this. They understand that the loudest people burn the fastest. Fame is noise, and noise is vulnerability. The real elite operate from the shadows. You won't find their names trending. You won't see their faces in interviews. But their influence shapes markets, decisions, and even laws. That's what Machiavelli would call perfection of control, ruling without being seen. Because when people can't trace power back to you, they can't challenge it. You become untouchable. To master wealth, you must learn strategic invisibility. It's not hiding out of fear. It's disappearing by design. It's blending in so well that people stop looking at you while your influence multiplies. You control rooms you never enter. You make moves others believe were their idea. That's indirect rule, the Machiavellian ideal of invisible dominance. A true strategist doesn't fight battles. He designs systems that win them for him. He builds layers between himself and exposure. Companies, intermediaries, proxies, each one a wall of protection. You stop living to be seen. You start living to control. And control is the highest form of freedom. Think about it. When everyone knows your name, you become a target. But when nobody can connect your name to your influence, you become a ghost in the system. You move freely, unseen, unstoppable. The quiet investor, the silent owner, the unseen architect. These are the real kings of the modern world. And they all follow the same principle. Influence without exposure. They whisper in the right ears. They pull strings behind the curtain. And they never claim credit. Because credit makes you visible. Visibility makes you vulnerable. And vulnerability costs control. The highest wealth doesn't look like riches. It looks like freedom. The ability to wake up when you want. To move where you wish. To to operate without explaining yourself to anyone. That's the invisible crown. It's not gold, it's peace. It's the quiet knowing that your empire runs itself, that your systems work while you stay still, that your influence reaches people who don't even know your name. This is the transformation few complete. At first, you work for money, then money works for you, then your name builds influence, and finally, your silence builds power. At that point, you don't chase wealth, you embody it. You don't flex, you don't announce, you simply exist in control. And here's the paradox: the quieter you become, the more they talk about you, the less you reveal, the more they imagine. Mystery becomes your magnetism, their curiosity becomes your weapon, because humans fear what they can't define. And you, unseen and unpredictable, become a force they can't compete with. Machiavelli once said, "The appearance of power is often more valuable than power itself." He understood that perception creates obedience. When people believe you're powerful, they act as if you are. You never need to prove it. So don't fight to be recognized. Fight to be untraceable. Don't show off your wealth. Show discipline. Don't seek attention. Seek positioning. Every time you withdraw from noise, your influence grows stronger. Every layer of invisibility increases your protection. Every silent move builds longevity. Because what no one sees, no one can destroy. And what no one understands, no one can stop. So disappear from the game, not out of fear, but out of mastery. Let your systems speak for you. Let your results echo your name, and let your silence become legend. The world forgets those who shout too much, but it never forgets those who vanish at their peak. Their absence becomes myth, their silence becomes a story, and their control becomes eternal. That's the ultimate Machiavellian victory: to exist everywhere, yet appear nowhere, invisible, untouchable, unstoppable. So what have we learned? That wealth isn't about noise, it's about control. That silence is more powerful than status. That the true elite don't flaunt, they operate. We explored how success changes perception, how envy hides behind smiles, and how the moment you reveal too much, you lose leverage. We learned that power grows in silence, that patience is precision, that emotional neutrality protects peace, and that invisibility is the highest form of freedom. Machiavelli taught that the wise never reveal the roots of their strength, because once people understand what makes you powerful, they'll try to steal it. So protect your mystery, guard your leverage, build in private, because the less they know, the more you control. The more you control, the freer you become. And freedom, not fame, is the ultimate luxury. If this message spoke to you, if you believe in mastering the silent game, then don't just watch. Join the movement, like this video, subscribe to Psychology Insights, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because the world doesn't need louder voices, it needs smarter minds. And the quiet revolution starts with you. Stay silent, stay strategic, stay powerful.